right, we are live right now.
Okay.
Let's see how my face looks. All right, I think we are live now. 3 people waiting or viewing. 3 viewers right now. All right. And I'm gonna restore chat here. All right, and can anyone hear me? I'm gonna type in the chat. Let's see.
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna click here. Stop here. I'm gonna mute this one, and I am going to see the chat. Anyone I'm gonna see in the chat? Who's in the chat? Can everyone hear me? All right. So let's see. You're live. Okay, Michael Corey says you're live. All right, we have one comment there. 7 people are on the show now. 10 likes, unreal. We are on fire. And yeah, so hearing you okay. Christoph Jung says he's hearing you okay. This is the new Alex Jones show. All right, so we are doing pretty well. Okay, 5 people, and I'm gonna let's stop sharing the screen so we can show our face and then just have it talking. And yeah, I think we're good to go. Start talking to 5 people, and we're gonna go and start talking right now.
Okay.
All right. So we're live, guys, and here I'm with Allen Forrest right now, and yeah, so he is a cartoonist, artist, filmmaker, freedom activist, and yeah, just a generally great guy. All right, so you want to introduce yourself, Allen, and then we can start showing some of your work and more.
Yeah, sure. I was born in Canada, but I grew up in the States, and I came back in 2013 to Canada to take care of my dad in his last years. And I was stuck here for COVID, and so that's been quite a journey going through the protest movement. So today I'm going to, talk about some of my experiences in that, and Matt and I are going to talk about 9/11, our views, and basically just get as much out there as we can that the mainstream media will not talk about.
Yeah, for sure. And someone just commented here. Jeremy Bartle says, "My dad died a couple months ago, and every day it gets less and less funny." Yeah, that's sad to hear, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's hard. You lose your parents, and it's something I don't think you ever get over. You always miss them. And if you had a good relationship with your parents, I know some people didn't, but...
Michael says, struggling to hear Allen. Allen, can you increase the microphone volume on yours or no? And how's my microphone, guys? How's...
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but I just don't know how's the audio.
I can bring it in closer to me.
Okay, let's see, browser. Okay, what we're gonna do is fix up some audio capture, and we're gonna do some properties. LG, okay, so default should work. Okay, you loud and clear? Okay, he was a tyrant. Oh, your dad was a tyrant, alright, interesting.
Okay.
Allen sounds like he's 100 feet away underwater.
I'm underwater, huh? Okay.
Okay, so now that is interesting. So we gotta fix that out.
Alright, I don't know.
Okay, so audio capture. And I don't know why that works like that. MES microphone is fine. And then, okay, so we gotta figure this out. So your audio, because I can hear you fine. So it might be something on mine. Audio output capture. Okay, so I think I know what's happening. The audio is coming from mine, LG. Okay, try to speak now. Let's see.
Okay, is that better? Is that louder?
Okay, can you guys hear it now?
How am I doing?
Can you hear Allen now?
Can you hear me now? Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue.
All right, yes. Can you hear him, guys? I changed the audio so he has no good still.
Oh, really?
Not good still. Okay, so we gotta wonder what is going on here. Windows capture. Window capture. Browser. Video capture. Audio capture. Audio output capture. I should have both of us out. So that is an interesting thing. Sending our love down the well. Okay, no good still, Michael Corey. So we gotta I have no idea here. Just start speaking until someone hears you, Alan. Let's try again.
All right.
Let's see. Can you hear? Yeah, just say.
Can you hear me now? How am I doing?
All right. So that I hate when they live stream because I can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay.
So, but they can't hear you.
Oh, they can't hear me at all? Oh, that's too bad.
Audio.
This isn't gonna work.
Oh, so that's audio output capture. Okay, I'm gonna do another audio input. Audio input maybe. Create new. Is there? No, that's only mine. So what I'll try to do. Okay, I'll try to wear the headphones then because I'm gonna have the audio output as the speakers. Let's see this now.
Okay.
Audio.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. How am I doing?
I'm gonna do one more test, and we're gonna go speakers pow. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Try speaking now.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Am I coming through? Am I coming through louder?
Okay. Yeah, they're saying it's a faint volume. It's low. Okay. Try now.
Okay. Try one more time.
Well, I'm asking them. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear Alan now?
How am I sounding now? Is my voice loud enough?
Okay. Perfect. Okay. This is perfect.
Oh, okay, great.
All right. So yeah. So I think what happens is when I put the audio, setting it to the my like speakers on there. Yeah, for some reason it's low. But then when I set it to the output of this headphones, it's better.
Okay, great.
So I'm gonna actually, I think I figured it out. I'm gonna try one more time because I don't want to keep wearing these all the time.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this one more time, and we're gonna do a switch. I'm gonna take these off. Take this off. Audio capture. So we're doing live troubleshooting, guys.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go LG. And now you're just gonna be super loud for me. Okay, speak now.
Okay. How's my voice coming through now?
How is
Loud enough?
it now? Otherwise, I'll wear the headphones.
Speak the speech I pray as I pronounce it to you, trippingly on the tongue.
Yeah.
But if you mouth the words, as many of your players do, I'd have leaf the town crier spoke my lines. How's that sound?
Well, actually, no, I think it's better the other way. Okay, yeah. I realize it. Okay, the echo is going to my microphone from you, so I need to put the headphones on. My bad. Okay, so now I figured it out. And properties. Alright. Okay, I figured it out. So, with headphones, okay, everything is good, guys, I think?
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I guess it's all right.
Yeah, because I think what happens is, so I have the output audio from the speaker, but then the microphone picks up the speaker, so then it gets an echo.
Okay.
And it's a lot, not as loud. Okay, so RoboCop fixes everything. All right, so we are good, guys. So how many minutes did we go through? 8 minutes. Why does this always happen? All right, so we got 8 minutes, 10 people here, chat rate 13 minutes. So let's start all over again. 18 viewers right now, and yeah, I'll just put in the title again. Skip to the 8-minute mark. Why does this keep happening? That's the thing. It's just the first few months of live streaming. All right, guys, we are good to go, and everything is good now. And remember, the chat is delayed, but remember that chat is delayed. Okay, that's interesting. Anyways, guys, so I'll start it again. So today's guest is Allen Forrest. He's a cartoonist extraordinaire. He is a filmmaker, artist, and overall great person, and yeah, and a freedom activist. Just like me and some of you guys out there. And yeah, so Alan, take it away, introduce yourself, and then we'll go show some of your work.
Okay, sure. Matt was asking about the paintings behind me. You'll see these two attractive women there. They were actually going to be in a movie prior to COVID, but it was just a low budget film. But it was a horror film about an artist who paints a portrait of a woman, and she was murdered, and so she comes back into this portrait to get revenge. But anyhow, the director was, he fell for COVID totally. And I tried to wake him up. I tried to get him to see the whole thing was just a psyop. And we had, I guess you could say, sort of a falling out. So the movie never happened. So they're on my wall now. Well, where do you want to start? Do you want to talk about COVID first or 9/11?
Yeah, but that was an interesting story about the paintings there, actually. All right, yeah. So we'll go over. I'm gonna show them my screen now, and
Okay, shoot.
well, yeah. We also talk about you show you so I think show some of your artwork and stuff like that, just so they know who you are. I'm gonna start presenting my screen.
Okay.
Present, and we are gonna go here. Present this tab. All right, so we were presenting the tab. So here's the Hive notes. As always, I have these. Uh, I have these here. I'm gonna put this also in. I'm gonna put it in the live stream right here. I'm gonna share this tab, and I'm gonna find the. All right, so we can see the stats, and I'm gonna share the link here in the chat. All right, let's see, everything is good, and I'm gonna show this. This is the link to the notes, the stream notes, and stuff. And here's a self-portrait that Alan made, and there's me and Alan at one of the protests. Actually, I gotta share this tab. Okay, so let me know if whenever there's audio's not working. I mean, whenever the screen's not sharing, let me know. So, anyways, so these are the Hive notes I put on. So the list of the topics we'll go over and the links and so on, and I put them in the video description. Also put in the chat. So so there's Alan and a self-portrait. Yeah, great painter. And there's me and Alan at a COVID protest, anti-lockdown protest. I think last year, and he made this sign right here. This COVID equals DOD Depop. So that was. I gotta cover the things covering it. Okay, so there's DOD or Department of Defense depopulation. Epic sign indeed. All right. And so there is I'm gonna open up the first section. This is on his peaked, and right here, and you can see a bunch of his cartoons. Share this tab, and here's a bunch of the cartoons that we had over here. Let's see your latest one. All right, so here's the latest one. Can you guys all see it properly? I mean, your audio is a bit low. Someone says I'm gonna increase the audio. Okay, so everyone's talking. Okay, MES, how about audio now? Let's now make changes to the audio, someone's saying. How's audio now? Okay, someone says, love the Last Supper. Yeah. Alright guys, I increased audio. Is it all fine? How's audio now? I just want to make sure it's fine before I continue. Okay, I think it should be fine. Okay, yep, audio is fine, proceed. Okay, fine to proceed. So was and is, I'll make it a bit not too loud. Okay, so yes. This is why we need a production team like Alex Jones. Okay, so here's the his latest one. So if you fell for it last time, listen up, they're talking about the next pandemic. So if you haven't move this away. Yeah, so if you haven't seen through the scam yet and getting ready with masks and another booster, then you're a danger to yourself and humanity. Unreal. All right.
The trolls are back too. They're starting to downvote me again.
All right. Yeah. All right. So yeah, MES, just get on with it. We can hear from both sides. Let's concentrate on the content. Yeah. So yeah, the trolls are back. So on Hive, they have Hive is like I think the most like censorship resistant platform in the world. Because it's on the blockchain and it's really like very decentralized, unlike most blockchains. But the thing is, there's a downside where there's a bunch of downvotes that I'm gonna go back here. So yeah, so the only thing is people can downvote, so then your content doesn't earn as much, and then some of the Hive gateways will not show it as much. But the thing is, it's still there forever, in relative, and assuming that internet doesn't go down. So there it is, and let's see some of the trolls right here. So there's the only downside. You have a bunch of people downvoting, and when they downvote, they can remove your earnings as well. So this downvote by this better dev person lowered the revenue by 13 cents, which is not bad. Some giant whales can lower it by like $10 and pretty much zero every account. So, but yes, these are some of the contents. And what else did you want to show? Let's see. So you show this tab again. And yeah, so there's the Last Supper. Is there anything particular you want to show, Alan, in this inside your peaked before we get to the next one?
No, not particularly. You could show them the Dissident Voice. It's the only magazine that'll publish my cartoons. I've been banned from some magazines. They actually took all my stuff down and told me never to submit to them again because they were getting complaints from people. There's only one magazine I know of right now that will print my stuff is Dissident Voice, and they usually do about 4 or 5 cartoons a week.
Oh, that's good, yeah. But here's your self-portrait right here, and then also Michael Corey asks, how do we counter trolls? Yeah, that's a good question. Well, it's not affecting too much in this case, but one thing is just to keep going and call them out, actually. And in fact, speaking about trolls, Alan, didn't you mention, I think at the protest, that that's how you first saw me online?
Yeah. This was, I think it was just prior to COVID. Okay. And I was looking at some 9/11 videos, and I think you had posted something, and there were all these trolls going after you. And you, at one point, you said, "You're a troll," and the guy says, "No, I'm not." And that's the first thing a troll's going to say. But you kept your sense of humor. Yeah. That's what was so amazing to me, because I get so upset with these bastards, Yeah. But you just got a kick out of it, and I thought, man, this guy's different. He can keep his sense of humor. Yeah. So I wanted to get to know you, and so that's when I emailed you. Yeah. And at that time, I was using an alias. Frank Stein, or you could say Frankenstein.
Yeah, Frankenstein, unreal. Yeah,
and so when I was first communicating with Matt, I was using this alias, and finally I figured this guy's okay. He's not a government agent. So then I revealed who I was to him. But we were really communicating a lot at the start of COVID, and Matt saw through it right away, and he called it the mind virus. Everyone's got the mind virus. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I met you, man.
No, that's great. Yeah. So the when COVID started, I knew what was going on right away because I was awake for 9/11, and then also in December, I think 2019, Richard Hall came out of the video on German New Medicine. And in that video, it went over that viruses were never shown to exist. Like and then we're like, oh, then it to me it made sense, and that's why I started a second channel, MES Truth. I'm gonna go and share this tab. So I started a second channel, and the first thing to do was I uploaded that. Well, first I posted a Bill Cooper, Bill Cooper's first radio broadcast, and then in the next video I posted a Rich Planet's. German New Medicine interview with 2 people, and so this was and he published this. Let's see what date he published it. So I posted this December 6, 2020, but in 2019 is when I saw this, and then near the end it went over virology, and it also talked about the virus myth, and that's kind of when so then when COVID happened, it was like perfect timing. I'm like, all right, this is fresh in my memory. But even then, I knew everything's a psyop by definition. So like 9/11, once you have concrete evidence of one conspiracy, everything else is pretty much, everything else is assumed to be a conspiracy unless proven otherwise. For example, if
I like that.
Well, for example, if you realize that the mafia runs your town. And then you see, oh, there's a store catches fire. Well, you're gonna assume that the mafia did it. You're not gonna be like, oh, maybe it was just random happen. So and then so it's the works backwards. And also, someone says, MES, you are grand that way, reminding us to smile. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's the thing. Because in my view, the trolls, even reality is kind of like, I think, ambiguous and subjective. So if you're not laughing, then you're succumbing to your fake perception of reality. And Alan was talking about your painting right here, and they said you look like Van Gogh, but with 2 ears.
Isn't it? Yeah. It's a really. I wasn't sure if I liked that portrait or not. It's a very tortured portrait, but a lot of people like it. So I figured, what do I know?
Yeah, I do like it. It does look like a serious painting right here. Even the Van Gogh, it matches the same style too. All right, so the next one is the dissident voice you wanted to bring up. I'm going to open this right here.
Yeah, these are the only guys that'll touch my stuff,
Yeah, and do you remember what was that that magazine that kicked you out?
Okay, well, there's been a couple of them. One was Read Public House, which was in England,
and they got rid of all my stuff. They used to publish it at the very start of COVID, and I guess they got scared about MI5, going after them or something. And then there was another one. Oh gosh, I can't even remember the name. It's one in the States. It'll come to me. But they were getting so many complaints. And this was before COVID. They were getting so many complaints, and finally, when they got into COVID, they got rid of all my stuff. And then there's one called Barrel House that told me that I was never to submit to them again, because I sent them some comics I did on the Rothschilds. And so therefore they called me anti-Semitic. and also because I did some on chemtrails, so I was a conspiracy nut.
Amazing.
Yeah, so never send to them again. And oh gosh, most of those literary magazines that I used to do a lot of covers for their magazines and different illustrations. Most of them are pretty woke, They're I don't know. I just don't really fit into that milieu.
Yeah, it's that's how reality is, though. It's like everyone has a trigger word that they don't even know what it means. A conspiracy theorist, etc. What does that even mean? But I kind of take it like as a badge of honor. If someone calls me that, I'm like, well, duh. Like, well, there's a conspiracy, and I'm theorizing about what's going on in the world. Well, you're just ignoring it. And actually, one of the surreal things was in my soccer practice like a few years back. And so this is after I woke up to 9/11, and then someone came in playing. It was like raining. It was a soccer practice, and then he was worried that he might get sick. He's like, because he was sick earlier, but he was kind of worried. He's like, oh, I might get like worse from the cold and whatever. Then I told him, it's actually a myth that people get sick from the cold. I told him they're sick because they're indoor more often. This was before, and I made a video on it, just on even on mainstream science terms. And then he's like, oh, what's next? 9/11 was an inside job? And I'm like, duh. And he just didn't say anything. So I don't know. It's kind of like they set it up on a platter. But yeah, here's your latest post on dissident voice. I'm just going to go over this and then we'll continue on our journey. So it says, Allen Forrest, I'm a good citizen. I did the responsible thing and got my jabs. Then I found out through an FOIA, Freedom of Information Request, it wasn't safe or effective. Now I feel like a dupe citizen. Epic stuff. So this is from this post is from a supposed anti-Semitic conspiracy nut. Like, this is what they would call it. Like, this is absolutely mind-boggling. Some other stuff right here. All right. And then Michael Corey says the eradication of a sense of humor has been the worst side effect of the woke. That is true. And then someone says, let's see. Have you ever heard the info released by Ashton Forbes? No, I've never heard of that. Have you heard of Ashton Forbes, Alan?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I have not. So that's yeah. So the chat, you could probably possibly put it up on a second tab, or actually, I was gonna say your phone, but you don't have a phone. And that's actually one thing I wanted to bring up. I'm gonna do that right now, actually.
Okay.
This will be the next one. Phone. I'm gonna share this tab, and. So I was going to ask you, so you're super anti-phone.
Well, no, I mean, I've got...
No, you don't have a phone. You don't have a phone. I like it. I like it, though. Okay.
I got a landline phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding off on... I've had different, like, what they call dumb phones, right? Just a cell phone. I've had those, but I don't use them very much. I don't talk on the phone very much. Mm-hmm. And a smartphone, I like my privacy. I don't want to be connected to the internet 24/7. I don't want people spying, tracking, and tracing me. And I don't want to pay for it, So I'd rather just stay away from smartphones as long as I can. I know eventually they're probably going to force me to get one, but and then I'm going to ask you to get you to teach me how to use it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was saying, one time the only downside was one time we were trying to meet you at the protest, but then we didn't have your cell phone, so you don't have a cell phone, so then we had to literally sift through a whole bunch of people. So anytime I see someone that remotely looks like you, I'm looking, staring at them, like, is that it? And they're probably wondering why. And okay, so this is one of your cartoons actually, right here, and this one is I'm sketching a portrait of the biggest enslaver today. More and more people falling victim to this menace. As Aldous Huxley warned, they loved their enslavement, and then there's a photo of the phone. Yeah, these are some good stuff. So I posted on my Telegram a lot of your stuff.
Good.
Pretty much,
Awesome.
every one of your paintings and so on, I share them in here.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Just get the word out, and I'm gonna this MES links and put that in it as well. All right, what else people are saying? Okay, so in Paul Lovelace says, MES, I must admit that I personally would prefer the technical live streams as opposed to the art focused stream, but this is opening my horizon. Yeah, well, I'm also just showcasing a lot of people like that have been fighting back against this tyranny. So like Allen Forrest has been protesting, I think every single week, you were saying, at City Hall in Vancouver City Hall.
Yeah, it all started out like back in March of 2020. I wanted to start protesting right away, but I didn't know where they were doing it in Vancouver because I didn't have a Facebook. That's how they were communicating initially. But then I finally found out through Dan Dix, the guy who does Press for Truth, I found out they were going to hold one at, I guess it's the Science Center down by the Main Street SkyTrain station. So that was my first march, and that was probably towards the end of April. But I've been marching ever since for the last 3 years, and we meet every Wednesday at Vancouver City Hall, and we rally there. And you'd be surprised at how many people actually are awake. They drive by, honk their horns, give us a thumbs up, and you know, we can't ask for more than that. But there are still the people that give us the finger and call us all sorts of names.
Yeah, that's always. And speaking of that, you shared that that video about the comic book guy, or Alex the comic.
Oh yeah, Alex the comic. He's a Vancouver comic. He was originally from Toronto, and he's been in the movement too from the very beginning. He does COVID comedy, and he's really funny.
Yeah,
he travels through the States a lot now. He really likes the U.S., so he's down there a lot performing.
No, that's good. Okay, I'm just gonna start link. This is Vancouver City Hall. If anyone's in Vancouver City Hall, that's 12th and Cambie.
Yeah, 12th and Cambie. We meet there at 1 o'clock every Wednesday from 1 to 3 with lots of signs, and we pass out Druthers newspapers. Druthers is I think it's published in Toronto, but it's a hard copy newspaper all about the COVID crimes and all the insanity going on with the globalists.
Yeah, Druthers. I have some of those newspapers right here.
Yeah, I deliver them, actually. That's one of my... I see it as my community service, you know, like doing the protest or delivering druthers or anything to do with trying to let people know that, hey, your government's lying to you.
Yeah.
The media's lying to you, you know.
Your doctor's lying to you, yeah. And you're this BC cancer leader. And I was going to show that right here. And then before we show some of your things, so I'm going to go to
Bonnie Henry, yeah. I call her Bonnie Hitler.
Yeah. Oh, Bonnie Henry, yeah. So my brother works at the hospital. And he said that when Bonnie Henry came to visit one time, she had like a whole security escort around her. But he was surprised how small she was. She was like a little short little girl. And then she has all the security around her walking like it's like I'm telling you, like the mob.
Yeah.
If you need that much security. But I'm going to go right here. I'm going to show the comic. And we're going to play this video on Throwback. Okay, so this is the Alex the comic. He got viral after the BC head of cancer threw a bike at his windshield. We're going to play this video.
Congratulations.
Can you guys hear the audio? Your food is lying to you. Someone says, I grew up like walking around outside that shoes and very rarely got sick. Yeah, someone says getting sick from the cold or rain is 100% myth. I'd be sick all year. Yeah, and I have, I get a lot when I go to play soccer and the cold outside. I'm like, oh, you're going to get sick. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've been doing this for 20 years. And actually, I made a video way back about that myth. And, but yeah, can you guys hear the audio?
Congratulations for following the narrative.
Okay, yeah, so Mike Curry says, Echo is back. Where's the echo coming from? Someone says Echo is back. So, that is interesting. I'm gonna go, audio output capture, properties. Yeah, I don't know why the audio input, there's two audio inputs. Yeti. And I'm going to remove one of these. Okay, and is it echo still or no? This echo, or I'm gonna disable. Actually, people are saying slight echo and not debilitating. Well, we should gotta remove the echo. I forgot what it was. So the sounds, I need to go change sound settings. I need to disable all of the. I'm gonna disable manage sound devices. Output device, I'm gonna disable this one. And then input, I'm gonna disable everything. Okay, so it should be echo's gone. Someone says okay, so I had to remove. All these technical difficulties. Anyways, so you guys hear the audio. So this is the Alex the Comic at one of the protests, I believe, in 2021. And watch what happens with the BC head of cancer. Is whoops.
Hello, I'm Gav.
Whoops.
I'm Dan. With.
Why did it do that? Okay.
Congratulations for following the narrative and trusting the news and not questioning anything. You're all doing a great job complying with the narrative. There is definitely not a psychological operation happening when you're convinced of a reality that's based on fear that has nothing to do with what's actually happening. You shut the up. Hey, get the out of here. You're insane, bro. Get the out of here. Get the out of here. Get the out of here. You're insane, bro.
It gets better.
Dude, you're insane. This guy. Dude, get the out of here, man. I'm gonna kick you in the head. We're trying to wake people up because you've been psyoped. We love you, people. You've been psychologically. You've literally been psyoped. Wow. Okay, are you happy now? Are you happy now, you f***ing asshole? We're trying to wake you people up over here. You've been psyoped, brother. You've been psyoped.
So he says, "Are you happy now?" The other guy says, "Yeah." So there's the there's the anger. And this isn't just a normal person. This is Dr. Kim Nguyen Chi, named leader of BC Cancer. So this is the guy. This is the guy. And so the comic didn't want to sue him. So he just gave it to the Crown, and the Crown or the Canadian government decided not. They said they decided that this was not in the public interest to go after this guy, and he's still working at his job. He's still a BC head of cancer. This is 2019. Let's click as leader of BC Cancer. He should still be there. What was the article? I think he still is there. Well, they haven't kicked him out. This is bccancer.ca, and he's still like. Ron Hoye. So the guy says OMG his face, yeah. Alright, so that is an epic stuff there. And then so that Alex the Comic, there's another setup that Alan sent me. He made that They Live protest theme.
Oh yeah, I was in that. They did two of them.
Okay, yeah. So there's a They Live, and I'm gonna actually show them. So I try to put everything in here, and I'm gonna go back to the stuff. Let's share this one again. They Live. So I have some epic compilations right here. So and there's Alan, and this is the protest. This is for your protection. And let's play this video. Actually, this is pretty good. So this is that Alex the Comic that got biked to the windshield, and we're gonna play this video. So they did the They Live theme, and this was the one you were at. I had no idea about this. If you told me, if I knew about it, Alan, I would have been there. Paul Loveless says, MES, my lunch is over at work, but I will continue listening with earbuds. Epic. And yeah, Lolo Causinity says, cognitive dissonance, cancer, big business. Indeed. And then the other guy's face. And COVID-19 11 9/11. All right, let's continue watching this. All right, this is epic stuff. I'll play just until it gets to you, Alan, since fear is virtuous. for your mask. There's the protest now.
There is a signal broadcast every second of every day through our television sets. Even when the set is turned off, look around. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness. They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others. We are focused only on our own gain.
Oh, there's Allen. All right, and it keeps going. You get the idea. And it was a silent protest. I heard Allen. So
Yeah,
no one was talking. Go on.
Both times they were completely silent.
Oh, you did it twice.
Yeah, we did it like this one, and then in the second one, the one that Rebel News covered, some of the people wore the "They Live" mask that shows, the alien skeleton type mask.
I'm gonna play that here. I think it's from here. We can, yeah, feel free to commentate as we watch as well. Because it's, so this is the art gallery. This is the second one or the first one?
This, I believe, would be the second one, and I think you'd have to. They don't show the march until a ways in there.
You see, this was 2-minute one, yeah. Well, I cropped out everything.
Okay. Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. So yeah, it literally is They Live, like especially the masks. I think the mask was the biggest letdown of humanity I've experienced.
Yeah.
It's like you're covering your breathing hole.
Yeah, that's right. There we are, taking off. We're leaving from the plaza there at the art gallery. We would do this every Sunday. This is the group No New Normal. And we were out there every Sunday with something, doing a protest.
That's good. And yeah, the production level, the production's pretty good too. Consume. There's a beer ad. And then I think you're in this one as well, or?
I was there. I don't know if you'll see me, but
yeah. But yeah, this is epic stuff. And yeah, so I shared that one there. Fauci sure could be an alien. That is true, actually. Fauci is an alien, and I posted it before. Yeah. So speaking of Fauci, so if you pay $50,000, he's actually going to be doing a speech at a dinner November 22nd, 2023. If you pay $50,000, you can have 2 tables of 10 next to his table, the principal table. You also get a full-page back cover ad and program, and admission to VIB reception, photos, and meet and greet with Dr. Fauci. Look at that, the legendary.
Oh, man.
And if you have $25,000, you have a fireside chat sponsor or some other stuff. You only have 1 table in a prominent location, but not next to the legend.
Yeah, if Epstein was still alive, they could advertise a dinner with him too.
Yeah, you would. And then and Fauci, there's him during the mask mandates. And doing the hands, but then with the mask off, and then doing the Mr. Burns.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so that is what we have. Let's continue marching forward, because you said you didn't have that much time. That's why we try to march forward.
Oh.
Yeah. You said that. What is your time frame looking like?
Well, I was hoping for maybe sometime, I don't know, about 2:15 or 2:30.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's more than I initially thought. But you're just going an hour. So let's see, another stuff we want to show. What else did you want to discuss? I put the Rebel News in there, the Druthers, and let's see what this video was.
One of them's Bonnie Henry's mask thing.
Oh yeah, the Bonnie, that was, okay, this is Freedom March in 2020.
Oh, that's just a typical march.
Yeah, I think this is the first one I went to, actually.
Oh, really?
This might have been either the first one I've been to. Yeah, I only been to the first one last year. That's when I first started, and it was pretty interesting. And that's I have an interesting story. Actually, I gotta show my tab. So here's the so let me know when the tab's not showing. So interesting story is the first protest I went to. I think this might have been it. And then so some of the there was this person wearing 2 masks blocking one of the convoy trucks. So he's blocking him, and then he's blocking all traffic out, and he's like literally in front of the trucks. And then I'm like videotaping, and I'm like, this guy is so brainwashed. But then someone behind me, he was filming. I thought he was a freedom fighter too. So he's filming. He's like, oh, you mean brainwashed like these anti-vaxxers people? And I'm looking at him like, what's this guy talking about? You know, I'm like the pro-vax movement is sponsored by like billion-dollar companies and everything. So why are you defending them? And he's like, oh, where's your tinfoil hat? And I noticed he was wearing a mask, but it was on his chin. So then I looked at him like, why is your mask on your chin? Put it on your mouth. The virus is gonna get you. And then he put it right away. Yeah. And then I said, yeah, keep it on. But then he got like mad. He started taking it off and started filming me. And I'm like, what are you? And I grabbed his phone. I'm like, don't film me. I'm like, don't. And then he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, don't attack me. I'm like, just don't film me. And then he's like, and that's it. And then I saw him later on in the protest with his mask off. And then I walked by him. And I'm like, put your mask back on. So there's like, I don't get it. I'm like if you're gonna believe the mainstream narrative, at least go full on it.
Yeah.
So that was my first encounter, and the first time I go there, like only 5 minutes in, I almost getting a little scuffle. But yeah, so that was this one, and then let's see what else in the notes. Oh yeah, so the next one was the emergency sirens increasing. So yeah, you want to talk about you notice a lot of emergency emergency ambulance sirens going off.
Yeah. You know, before COVID, we were lucky in my area of Surrey to maybe hear one siren, but as of 2021, every day it seemed like you'd hear more and more and more until the summer of 2021. I heard 10 sirens in one day.
Holy.
You know, and you were keeping track of a lot of this stuff. You did a study on it.
Yeah, I started tracking it, and I also started noticing it more too. I think partially because before I wasn't paying attention, but now it's like I do notice it at random times. Like even when I'm going to sleep, I just hear a siren going off, and I wanted to go.
Yeah. And that most people, you know, walking down the street, they're staring at their smartphone, and there's all these sirens going by, and it's like they don't put two and two together. Mm-hmm. The vax rollout, guys. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, vax rollout, and then but it's also like combined with lockdown. It's like eventually you're just gonna be completely out of it. I think I had it. I had the article. Let's see, when did I post? Okay, there it is. I found it.
Yeah, tracking emergency sirens. Yeah,
so there it is. Tracking emergency sirens. I'm gonna click it, and so I posted. And this one, when you and a couple of your friends in the Surrey area, so I got you guys to fill out. So I got them filling out a Google form anytime you hear a siren, and as well as mine, and then I made a graph out. So you had Central Surrey. You guys heard 10 sirens. And it was, 20 was the most in one day. Central Surrey, November 19th. 20 sirens in one day.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could see a gradual increase in take, and then so that was my little study there.
You know, and they have these articles about the healthcare system. It's under all this strain, but they never tell you why. Yeah. You know, they let all these nurses and doctors go that wouldn't get the jab, and they've got all these people getting sick or having to be taken to the hospital because they're jabbed. But they don't mention that, you know?
And another thing, because my brother's so my brother is in the hospital. What also happened, especially during COVID, is they would impose all these extra protocols. So like, let's say there is areas that are open, but then if person is not vaxxed, or if they have COVID, they'll have to separate them, make it distant. So if you have a specific room size, but now you're adding protocols of social distancing, that means you can't have as many people in. So then even when you say the hospital's overflowing, some of that, a significant portion is just the bureaucracy of these new protocols. And then combine that with lockdowns, and then you're injecting people with whatever, God knows what's inside though. and the mask too, like the mask, the fear, the double mask. Like my soccer coach was wearing 2 masks at one point. Like, what is going on here? And he's been progressively getting worse and worse health. All right, so that was, the siren one was interesting, and I want to put that in here. I'm going to copy this and share this tab. So yeah, I added all the links to them and the sirens. I'm going to put this like that. And then the next one, so 9/11 caller hologram. Well, actually, before we get to this, I wanted to ask you, if you can go over your journey in the truth movement, because you were inside. Oh, actually, it was before this. You were in the truth movement for a long time. So go over this one actually first.
Okay.
So if you could tell when you woke up, and also speak on your JFK where you were. This is going way back. When did you figure out all this?
Okay, my dad is the one that really kind of woke me up, but I was a kid, back in the 1960s. And he used to read these magazines that were considered alternative media back then, called Ramparts or Muckraker, which they'd look at all the scandals and, the politics. And he'd point out in the newspaper how they might change or misspell someone's name to kind of discredit them. Like one time, Ralph Nader at that time was coming out and going after the car companies for some of their unsafe products. So they would misspell his name in the newspaper. Instead of Nader, it would say Hader. Oh. And my dad would say, see what they're doing here? And so that's sort of what started me. But yeah, I've been kind of following it off and on. Back in the 70s into the 80s, Mae Brussel in Carmel, California, she was probably the best researcher we had. She really broke the JFK assassination wide open. I was alive when JFK was killed, and anyone who was knows exactly where they were. I was in a third grade classroom, and our principal, Mr. Loring, came over the PA system and said, President Kennedy has just been assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Holy. And I watched our teacher, Miss Grove, just fall apart in front of the class, in front of all the children, burst out into tears. And, we're just little kids, and we knew something really heavy had happened. And they sent everyone home, and for 4 days, the television, was only just covering the aftermath of the assassination and this sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But how the whole JFK conspiracy research started was because the government released the 26 volumes from the Warren Commission hearings. The Warren Report is just a little book that's supposed to be based on the 26 volumes. But people like Jim Garrison and Mae Brussel and many others read these 26 volumes, went through them, and they realized that the Warren Report, the one book, was completely a fabrication. Mm-hmm. And they were hiding all this stuff that was coming from the 26 volumes. And that's what started the very first conspiracy assassination research. It came from the actual government documents.
Yeah, and when specifically when you woke up, do you know the year roughly when you started realizing it? Because you said your dad was showing you some of the stuff.
Oh gosh, this would be going back to probably 1965 or 66.
So just after the JFK as well.
Oh yeah. We didn't know during the JFK. It was shortly thereafter, but I didn't really start looking at JFK till many years later. Okay. And then when Mae Brussel died in, I think it was like 87 or something.
88. So according to I'm on the wiki right now. So 88 October.
Oh, 88. Okay. Yeah. Not too far off. Anyways, and Bill Cooper basically took over for her. Mm. And he admired her quite a bit. I think they were on little different sides of the political spectrum, but Bill Cooper did some amazing stuff. He really did. Yeah. I don't think he was 100% right all the time, of course, but
he's got a so like I liked his straightforward approach when he spoke, mm-hmm. and he spoke in a way that it's very direct. He's telling you how he feels about mm-hmm. a specific thing, and like he knew a lot of the common sense way of like analyzing a news story, and he'll get to 90% of the truth within like seconds. For example, the Osama bin Laden story, or the CNN or ABC News had Osama bin Laden in their secret hideout.
Oh gosh, do you have that clip?
Yeah, so that's one I posted on my.
Oh god, that clip is so funny. So so true.
So that's the thing, and see, his death as well was interesting. So November 5th, when did he die? 5th? I thought he was 5th, 11/5. I thought it was someone else. But anyways, we'll get to that. Yeah, so that clip I posted on my YouTube channel, and Yeah, so like I never thought of that before, and I'm like, wait, because that's the thing, once you start waking up, everything's a conspiracy. You kind of realize, okay, so like how dumb were we to fall for Osama bin Laden? Like it's like a literally a newscast in his secret hideout. I'm gonna play that right here. This is June 28th, 2001 broadcast. Okay, someone says for sure, but what's ultimately the play to make everyone leave or comply, or what just seems crazy for the sake of being jerks? The crime is out of hand. Kelly has always been against it. Oh, what's up with California? I mean, the smog is back. All right, it's people are having a conversation in the chat. Like, I'm gonna play this right here. Bill Cooper's 9/11 prediction during 28. Yeah, so this is the kind of dialogue he has. Again, not everyone's 100% right on a lot of stuff, because some people were saying, oh, he was talking about aliens before, and then he switched up, and so on, or he has a different opinion on JFK. I'm saying people get things wrong, but I think he's one of the guys that will correct himself eventually.
Yeah.
So let's play this.
Can you believe what you have been seeing on CNN today, ladies and gentlemen? Can you believe it? Supposedly, a CNN reporter found Osama bin Laden, took a television camera crew with him, went into Osama bin Laden's hideout, interviewed him and his top leadership, his top lieutenants and colonels and generals in their hideout. This is a CNN reporter with a camera crew. And he came out and told everybody, within 3 weeks, Osama bin Laden is going to attack the United States and Israel. Now, don't you think that's kind of strange, folks? You see, because the largest intelligence apparatus in the world, with the biggest budget in the history of the world, has been looking for Osama.
Wait, just look how look how scary he looks in front of these newscasters. It's like a movie prop.
Osama bin Laden for years and years and years, and can't find him. The FBI also, under the leadership of Louis Freeh, has been looking for Osama bin Laden for years and years and years and years and years and many years, and can't find him.
He's got his AK.
Some doofus jerk-off reporter with a camera crew waltzes right into his hideout and interviews him. And you know what his budget is? Zip, zilch, nothing. Now, that tells us two things. Either everyone in the intelligence community and all of the intelligence agencies of the United States government are blithering
This is real footage, guys, of Al-Qaeda.
idiots and incompetent fools, including the entire apparatus of the FBI.
I made this meme right here. Al-Qaeda training facility found our playgrounds, terrorist breeding grounds, enhanced security proposed.
All of their personnel are they're lying to us. They're not looking for him at all.
Yeah.
And the second is the truth.
Yeah.
You see, the CIA...
There's another article, actually. Anti-Soviet warrior puts his army on the road to peace. Have you seen this one, Alan?
Well, I remember 60 Minutes. I think it was back in the 80s. They covered Osama bin Laden, but he was working with the Mujahideen and the CIA. Mm-hmm. And they were fighting the Russians, and he was hailed as a hero.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah.
And the news articles, they literally call them anti-Soviet warrior, puts army to peace. And interesting, I was at my soccer coach's his son's birthday party last year, and then I brought up we're talking about Osama bin Laden. Because he was anti-U.S. etc. But he's full on mainstream, but he doesn't like the U.S. But that's also mainstream opinion from people outside of the U.S. And then I showed him this article, and he did not believe it. He's like, "Send me the link." He's like, "This." It's like, really? They were literally promoting Osama bin Laden. This guy says, "Have you mentioned the laughing Israelis arrested on 9/11?" Yeah, but again, I think that's a bit of a distraction for if it's an angle on explosives. Yeah, I heard the dancing Israeli ones. That's I've seen that. There's nothing too interesting. All right. Question for you, change of subject, sorry, but are you familiar with Tom O'Neill? He wrote Chaos, A Secret of CIA. No, I have not heard about that. Let's continue with this footage right here.
They created Osama bin Laden. They recruited him. They trained him. They found his leadership. They brought them all together. They showed them how to fight the Soviet Union in Afghanistan, and when that was over, they still continued to fund him and train him, and they're now using him to help bring about world government by making him the big boogeyman, because they can't use
I just want to see this right here.
Yeah.
So he's a war criminal, and now all of a sudden he's throwing a World Series pitch, and then now he's with this
Be generous.
yeah, Ellen DeGeneres, but then Ellen DeGeneres is like full on. It's like on the LGBTQ side, and post on the IG as if it's like some sort of selfie friendly, as if he wasn't responsible for murder, of genocide. Let's go.
because they can't use Saddam Hussein anymore, because they needed a new boogeyman. A reporter from CNN and his little camera crew got in to Osama bin Laden's secret hideout.
Look at his walkie-talkie. He's like, this guy overtook the U.S. military.
And conducted an interview. If you don't believe me, tune into CNN. They're probably running it right now as I'm speaking.
Okay.
And if you believe it, you are one of the stupidest jerks that ever lived on the face of this earth.
Well, that's kind of that's the kind of stuff I like from him. He'll tell you straight on, like, you believe this, you are actually the dumbest human to have ever existed.
Yeah. Well, did he coin the term sheeple?
I think he said it a lot, but so there's another thing. So the Wikipedia has it off actually. They said his death was the 5th. His death was actually this. It was like midnight the 5th. So like literally the 6th.
Yeah. Do you know apparently some federal agents were in a van?
Yeah, and then they went after him. But I want just to note the date right here. November 6th. That's 11/6. That's just literally 9/11 upside rotated.
Oh, okay.
So he died on 9/11/2001 rotated. So 11/6 versus 9/11.
Okay.
So it was. I think they selected that date specifically. Yeah, but yeah. So and then he was shot by undercover cops at midnight and left to die on his front yard without receiving medical treatment. Yeah. So they actually let him die there.
And the irony is that Bill Cooper once on a show, just I don't know if it was months or years just before that, he said, "I'll probably die. I'll be shot to dead on my doorstep," and that's what happened.
Yeah. I remember he said something like that.
And whatever is going to happen that they're going to blame on Osama bin Laden, don't you even believe it.
Yeah. And what's interesting, there's another thing I wanted to show here. So, do you know this person right here? Have you ever seen this image of this?
Is that the shoe bomber guy?
No, the hairy guy. This is okay. If anyone knows, let's see. I'll put in the chat. Anyone know this?
I recognize the face.
Okay. Okay, so Jeremy says, thanks, MES, but can you ask your guest if you heard of Tom O'Neill? He's unearthed some really interesting stuff about the JFK assassination in relations to Jack Ruby, MK Ultra. Have you heard of Tom O'Neill?
No, but how do I spell his last name? I can always look into it. Is that O?
O and then apostrophe and then Neill.
Oh, 2 L's. Okay, and Tom is just Tom, right?
Yeah, Tom.
Okay, I'll look into it, definitely.
Yeah, so you'll look into it. Yeah, so does anyone know this hairy guy? If anyone answers it, I went over it in one of the live streams. First person to answer it gets a shout out. Somebody answer. You have 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay, nobody's answering this. This is the mastermind of 9/11.
Oh my God.
All right, so this is, so whenever someone talks about 9/11, it's also important to understand the mainstream narrative of 9/11, because once you understand the mainstream narrative, it's very laughable. So you can actually showcase to the normies how laughable it is. So when I show people this, they're like, oh, they just don't know what to say. Actually, from Math Easy, I'll go mastermind. All right. So this is the mastermind of 9/11. You can see the screen. And how and I wrote how utterly stupid do the elites think we are. And again, this kind of talking, I got some of it from Bill Cooper. I watched hundreds of hours of his videos. Okay, this guy says Sheik something, and yeah, so see if you guys know. So yeah, this guy got it. So Tobias got it right. Sheik, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, and we'll read through this. And then, but if you look at the mainstream narrative, it's absolutely like laughable. So the journalist Yasseri Fouda of the Arabic television channel Al Jazeera reported that in April 2002, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed admitted his involvement, along with Ramzi bin Al Shahib. The 9/11 Commission report determined that the animosity towards the United States felt by Mohammed, the principal architect, so this hairy guy, of the 9/11 attacks, stemmed from his violent disagreement with U.S. foreign policy favoring Israel. So again, Israel's always there because I believe there's going to be a World War III involving Israel. And interestingly, I think Israel will get destroyed, and then rebuilt in a third temple sort of biblical proportion. But anyways, so Muhammad was also an advisor and the financier of the the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, and the uncle of Ramzi Youssef, the lead bomber in that attack. So this is where it gets interesting. So they say this is the principal architect. Muhammad was arrested on March 1st, 2003, so we're going 2 years after 9/11, in Rawalpindi, Pakistan, by Pakistani security officials working with the CIA, then transported to Guantanamo Bay and interrogated using methods including waterboarding. All right, and so he was interrogated with waterboarding. So 2 years after he was after 9/11, he gets arrested, and I'm going to share this tab. I'm going to go what's waterboarding. If you guys know what waterboarding is.
Yeah, it's a form of torture. I think they put a bag over your head and they pour water and you can't breathe.
Yeah, so here's what is waterboarding. You can see, see what is waterboarding. Waterboarding is a harsh interrogation method. You just put a bag and then put water on it, so it stimulates as if you're drowning. And you get a gag reflex order and people feel like they're close to death and drowning. And yeah, so so he was literally tortured. So going back to the tab now. Let's continue reading. So he was tortured with, notice the wording, interrogated. He was actually tortured, not interrogated, with waterboarding during U.S. hearings at Guantanamo Bay in March 2007. Now we're going 6 years after, right? Muhammad again confessed his responsibility for the attacks, stating he was responsible for the 9/11 operation from A to Z, and that a statement was not made under duress.
Oh, please. Yeah, I know.
And then this guy right here is the mastermind.
Gosh.
All right, and then if you go Khalid Sheikh Mohammed Mastermind, it's all the mainstream. They just copy and paste. Okay, this person says, "Thank you. Chaos, the secret of lies. Tom's is secret of the 60s is Tom's book." Okay, so he has that. Yeah, so you can find his stuff in there. And yeah, so there's that photo I shared. And let's see, what is the next thing we can continue in our march of content? Yeah, so now that we went over that, I wanted to go over the caller you spoke about. So you said there's a 9/11 caller back.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about it because somebody may listen to this someday and get a hold of you to give you more information. This is going back. I originally thought it was 2006, but I don't think so. I think it would have been 2008, 9, or 10. But about that time, I stopped watching Alex Jones because I just really saw through him. And there's a couple things I should mention about that. But first, let's talk about. It was Alex's show. A man called in. He claimed to be a father, had a son. The son had a friend who was a soldier, and he wasn't a high-ranking soldier. He was invited to the Pentagon to see a presentation. And so he and a bunch of other low-ranking soldiers went to the Pentagon. They were in a room. There was a big screen. And there was a man who said he was from the CIA, and he showed them this film. And what it showed was the Pentagon, and it showed a missile coming at the Pentagon, and then he flipped a switch, and it turned into an airplane, and he flipped the switch, and it turned back into a missile, and he seemed to be getting off on this as he looked at the audience, watching the reaction of these young soldiers. And this soldier went back to the father's son, and he was really upset and told him about it. So this father calls into Alex Jones to ask him, what does Alex think about this? And Alex didn't have a comment. He said, I don't know. And then that was it. And he just said, thank you for your call, hung up, and they never said anything more about it. And I was on the forum, Prison Planet Forum at the time, and I went ahead and asked people on the forum, did you hear that caller? And one guy responded saying, yeah, I heard it, but I don't know what to think. So it ties into what Matthew's been talking about the possible image projection, which Rich Planet was talking about, the idea of some people saw planes, some people didn't see planes, depending on the angle, that crashed into the WTC. So yeah, you go ahead, and because you've got the goods on that.
Yeah, so that was an interesting caller there, especially with Alex Jones not saying anything, and then I never heard about that call either. So I think there might be some truth to that, especially because I'm of the opinion there was some sort of a holographic cloaking being done, like not just projection, but like cloaking over a physical object.
Right.
And I'm currently leaning towards some sort of a bunker buster type setup where it penetrates and then explodes. It's reinforced concrete and explodes. Again, there's zero deceleration. So that color one, that was the one I wanted to find out, but the forum that you mentioned it on, Prison Planet one, is no longer available. Like it's
Yeah, I wanted to mention a couple things that I noticed there. This is when I started seeing through Alex Jones, who basically did everything he could to keep the truth of 9/11 away from people while acting like he was the leader of 9/11 truth.
Yeah.
There was a time when CIT, Citizens Investigation Team, they're the ones that focused on the Pentagon, and they came to the forum and they started posting some of the information that they dug up and some of the interviews that they've done with people around the Pentagon. They were leaning towards a sleight of hand, some sort of a flyover, explosives in the building, and this sort of thing for the Pentagon.
Mm-hmm.
And they were attacked ruthlessly by all the moderators. I mean, they literally wouldn't let these guys say anything and drove them out of the forum. And I thought, well, wait a minute. I don't know what happened on 9/11. Shouldn't we get all the evidence and all the theories and everything? Let's put it on the table and at least talk about it. Yeah. But no, they had a certain agenda to push. Alex Jones had, and if you didn't go along with that agenda, you were sidelined. You were kicked out of there.
Yeah, no, 100%. Alex Jones is a professional at that. But yeah, even the Pentagon, I think even that one was also evidence for directed energy weapons. Like I was gonna post a video of like it turning to dust, but I couldn't get a long enough setup because you'll see a lot of these similar effects as the Twin Towers and WTC. I think all of them involved advanced weaponry. But speaking of Alex Jones, here is how he answers questions, like exactly what you said. How he pretty much is like a master of not answering like just covering up the truth and not answering any important questions. Okay, so right here, so I posted this on my Telegram. So caller calls Alex Jones to ask if he can bring Dr. Judy Wood to the show, and Alex Jones responds with an incoherent rant. But it's interesting that he actually answers this call, as opposed to the one that you mentioned, where he didn't say anything about the hologram one. That's an interesting one. I wish I were able to find it. So I'm going to play this video.
I was a supporter of architects and engineers in 9/11 Truth for a long time.
So listen to how Alex Jones tactics of not answering questions. Let's see. And also humiliating the guest.
Came across the work of Dr. Judy Wood in her book, Where Did the Towers Go? First, by hearing Jesse Ventura on your show, I believe in 2011, mention her name. Her work is astounding, and the evidence shows that thermal and kinetic means were not employed in the destruction of the World Trade Center complex. Richter scale data is enough in itself. It shows that there were no...
Sure, so what's your question?
If you have her on, and regardless of where you stand, if you'd have her on and have yourself...
Sure. Let me answer that question. And I appreciate your call. I am the founder of questioning 9/11. I mean, there was NORAD stand down. The hijackers were trained at U.S. bases. That's Sacramento Bee, Associated Press. That means I question there needs to be a real investigation. Bush and Cheney weren't under oath, blah, blah, blah. They then turn that into, Alex says, like Wile E. Coyote, Bush blew up the towers. So then again, they misrepresent. I say, hey, they've got weather weapons. It's on History Channel. That turns into, I say Obama sent a tornado. So they build straw men around what I've really said about 9/11. I want to go with, hey, they said they blew up Building 7. We have scores of newscasts saying they blew it up. Then they say, don't say that, it's a conspiracy theory, when I have BBC, CNN, you name it, saying it. So I wanted to stick with that. People can debate and argue all day in 9/11 Truth what they think happened. not Judy Wood, and I've let Ventura come on and promote her. I mean, that's fine. I didn't say anything when he brought it up. I don't know her. I know some of the people associated with her got really vicious towards Stephen Jones, Professor, and other people, and then I got attacked by people saying I was covering up what happened, and I better have people on. So when I'm approached like that, I immediately just go, wow, this is like a weird academic fight, like different schools of Darwinism or something fighting with each other. I've just stayed out of it. Okay? And that's basically the end of it. And then I'm attacked everywhere for just sticking to what I think is the most important evidence of prior knowledge and involvement. There's your answer.
All right.
Oh, man, he's a master at hijacking the conversation and taking it to somewhere that is just going to confuse any listener.
Yeah, and there's the answer, yeah. And so that's Alex Jones for you there.
And the sad thing is so many people, so many young people I meet in the freedom movement, they've been totally psyoped by this guy. They just think he's the greatest thing.
Yeah, a lot of people, it's like, I'm like, no, he's a comedian, yeah, but he's not there. He's there for a specific reason, to make us look like lunatics. All right, and let's see what else we can go over, because you said you wanted to go in like 20 minutes or so. He's 2:11 right now. Let's check the stats right now on Livestream stats, and I'm going to share this tab. Livestream stats, we have 13 or 14 viewers right now, 19 likes, epic stuff here. And let's see what else we can have. Yeah, and it's been going on for 1 hour and 10 minutes, so we can we can go a bit longer. We're almost going through the whole thing here. And then you wanted to talk about 9/11, and we went over that. If there's anything else you wanted to discuss, or actually wanted to discuss with you, because I've been promoting Dr. Judy Wood's work, and when did you start investigating her work? Because before, or how was your journey in 9/11?
Well, I guess that would be back around 2010 or 11, something like that. I mentioned it to my dad, and he was a mechanical engineer, and he worked for Boeing Aircraft, and so he was really interested. Would you get her book? And I said, sure, I'll get it. And so, I went and got her book, and then I brought it up to him. And I mean, it's a great book. She entertains all the theories that, gives them all the rope they want at the start of the book to show you that this stuff just doesn't work. Yeah, the argument they always give against her book is she didn't prove her theory. Well, wait a minute, it's not a theory, it's evidence.
Yeah.
You just look at the evidence and you decide, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. And when did your father say to buy the book?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, maybe around, was it 2010? When did it come out?
Oh yeah, around that time, yeah. I think 2010, 2011, or 2009, something around that time, yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be around then.
Okay, so you knew right away, yeah. So I didn't realize until 2017, right when it was on a Richard Hall video with him with Andrew Johnson, and they brought up, just a split second, they just brought a few seconds, brought up where towers go when they were talking about UFOs, and then they're like, we know advanced energy exists, and as proven by where the towers go, and they showed the front and back cover of this book. And I'm like, what? Where do towers go? What do you mean? They're right there. And then I looked, I'm like, okay, all right, she's right. And that's where I showed this in a live stream before, and the first thing I posted before I even bought the book or read it, irrefutable. How do you spell irrefutable? Yeah, so the first thing, June 22nd, 2022, I posted this because I had to just make sure the photos are real. So this is not an explosion. This is literally frothing up in the dust.
Yeah.
And it was below sea level. See this highlighted part, this building, and then see that rubble pile. That's this right here, and building 7 still in the background. So this is within hours, and they're walking on ground level.
Yeah.
So this is that's it, and this nothing fell on this building right here, and these are
right.
This is I think building 6, with this giant hole in the center. So. That is epic stuff here. So almost missed the show. We'll listen to the rewind. Timothy Sullivan, epic stuff. Yeah, great to have you on, even if it's a bit late. And let's see. Yeah, so that's the thing. Yeah, so Judy Wood's one. Then I wrote. I'm not sure if you've seen this one. I wrote an article about her, and I wrote. Let's go from feared. I wrote most feared person in the world. And again, May 15, 2017. This is the first 9/11 post I did. Most feared person in the world, Judy Wood, and I wrote an article on Hive. And again,
Wow.
all I saw was the front and back cover because like I have a civil engineering background, so she also has a civil engineering bachelor's, and I also have one as well. So I never looked at the evidence of 9/11 ever. Like all I assumed was plane hits, and then the towers went away. And then my cousin kept telling me inside job for like 5 to 7 years, and then I'm like, it's not inside job. And then once I saw the front cover, front and back, I'm like, oh, damn it. So the first thing I did was apologize to him. I sent him a text message. I'm like, sorry, sorry, Steve. 9/11 is, and I'm like, you were right. 9/11 was done by the Illuminati.
Yeah, I like to say that it's both inside and outside, given that we're run by a world government already. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of both. They had to have some people inside that would cooperate with the cover up and everything.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's some very powerful people that are international.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's a world government. So like even you've heard of Alice Bailey, that occultist with the externalization of the hierarchy.
No, I haven't heard
Well,
that.
she's the first person I think to coin New Age, and she was talking about 2025 is going to be the final like it's like when the mission will be finished of the externalizing the hierarchy, or basically how the world's run will be finally revealed. And in other words, world government's gonna be publicly shown. So like this push towards world government, World War I and II, were to create the United Nations, the League of Nations, and all that. And then so each time there's a war, it's to create this. But the thing is, there's always been a world government, but it was private. And now what's gonna happen is it's gonna be like public world government. And then so Alice Bailey, if I had that before, I think it was in the last one. Alice Bailey, 2025 Alice Bailey hierarchy, and this is from her Lucis Trust. Have you heard of the Lucis Trust?
Yes, I have.
Yes,
Yeah.
UN partnered. She's pretty much like one of the founders or someone, one of the pioneers in it. So it's just like she died like 70 years ago, and then she wrote 2025. She wrote a book, Externalization of the Hierarchy, and I'm gonna read this again. I read this in my last live stream. So that's a great and new movement is proceeding. I'm gonna show this. Sorry about this. I'm on the Lucis Trust Trust right now. So this is the book's Alice Bailey, Externalization of the Hierarchy, Section 4, Stages in the Externalization of the Hierarchy, in 2025. So thus a great and new movement is proceeding, and tremendously increased interplay and interaction is taking place. This will go on until AD 2025. During the years intervening now and then, very great changes. Am I going to cover it? Yeah. Then very great changes will be seen taking place, and at the Great General Assembly of the Hierarchy, held at usual every century in 2025. The date in all probability will be the set for the first stage of externalization of the hierarchy. The present cycle from now until that date is called technically the stage of the forerunner. It is preparatory in nature, testing in its methods, and intended in to be revelatory in its techniques and results. You can see therefore that koans, masters, initiates, world disciples, and aspirants affiliated with the hierarchy are all at this time passing through a cycle of great activity. So this is like 7 years ago. This book's written by the Lucis Trust founder or pioneer, Alice Bailey, and talking about 2025, and that's when Trump is supposedly going to be the last president as well. That's my take. So that's also going to be when the election cycle. So when he's going to, well, election's 2024, but then the 2025 is when the president's going to be sworn in. And I don't know if you see my last live stream, but I went over a whole bunch of 2025 things happening.
Yeah. You were predictions.
And the moon landing starting as well. The new moon landings are starting to happen. First time. So they're saying in 2025, Artemis 3 will be the first crew landing in the surface in 53 years. So you got 2025, and then So if you go to my Telegram, there's a bunch of 2025 stuff there. It's going on, and then even Elon Musk says that by end of 2024, aka 2025, you won't need a bank account. You could just use your bank account will be your Twitter account. So Twitter will have its own bank account. So everything's gearing up for 2025. And this book is also written for 2021 about 2025. America is going to go through some sort of occult revealing. So, and even the SPARS, you've heard about the SPARS document about the another so-called pandemic that they're planning.
Uh-huh.
That was also for 2020. That was written as if it was going to be in 2025. This is the SPARS one. And there's going to be, and they're predicting a solar flare is going to be on 2025. So this was the, yeah, fast forward to this. Where's the SPARS? Actually, we'll get to that later. Yeah, so the SPARS pandemic one right here. Okay, I'm getting a message. Okay, I'm going to mute the notifications. So anyways, how do I get that off? Okay, so we are there. I'm just gonna losing track as well. And I'm going to go back to this. But yeah, so 2025 is looking like some interesting stuff's going to happen. How do I mute?
I wanted to get in a couple of things in case when you get Dr. Wood on the program, would you bring up, I heard an interview with her and John Hutchison and I believe Andrew Johnson. It was a New York radio station host. And they talked about the towers not being rebuilt for so long. Like there was, John Hutchison said there was possibly an energy infection at ground zero. And you hear these stories about people's construction workers' steel-toed boots, you know, the steel disintegrating and the girders, the steel girders rusting out right away. Didn't it take 14 years or so before they were able to rebuild the new towers? And aren't those, at the very bottom of those towers, aren't their supports encased in huge blocks of plastic?
Oh, I didn't hear about the plastic one, but so the interview you're speaking about, I have it right here, uploaded them both to my Telegram, but also with the links to Odyssey with, I believe 9/11 Revisionist has it. So this was in 2008. It's Judy Wood, Hutchison, and Andrew Johnson. Yeah, so there were energy effects that, so like a lot of the fuming, you know how, so a lot of the thermite people that would say, oh, the rubble was super hot for a year, for like months or years. Only thermite could do that, but it wasn't conventional heat. People were walking on it. So it was fuming. It was like a continual chemical reaction. And so what they were doing is they were putting piles of dirt on that rubble and then taking it out, like fresh dirt. For years.
Yeah.
And Judy Wood said that her and Andrew Johnson actually went to Ground Zero like years later, and it was still going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they kept doing it. So there was some sort of reaction going on, and then they and apparently water is a good way. Yeah. So water is a good way of absorbing some of that radiation or the whatever the cold fusion going on, and that's why you'll see every site of one of the 9/11 related stuff, the 9/11, the Pentagon, the Shanksville, they have like these pools of water, and even the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. So even that had even that had a pool of water in the let's see, 1993 WC bombing memorial. So even these have a giant water pool memorial. World Trade Center bombing. So they have a giant pool dedicated to it, and it's like right at the site. Similar to 9/11, we have that as well. But I haven't heard about the plastic one. But they did build it much later. And what's interesting is it was Obama cut the ribbon, WTC1 ribbon cutting on Trump's birthday. WTC1 ribbon cutting Obama. Let's see, on June 14th. Yeah, so a beam. Yeah, so this one, a beam signed by Obama raised at World Trade Center, and there was the June 14th, I believe. Where is the stuff here? June. Let's share this tab. I gotta find this. Signed on it 6/14. Obama White House. Yeah, it's June 14th. So Obama's message signed by President Barack Obama on a beam at One World Trade Center. Message signed on one of the final beams will be installed as part of the framework. So it was in 2012 is when it was finished, and on June 14th is when it was signed. So like, you know, I did a bunch of Trump predictive programming stuff, and Obama. See if I can find it. So Obama on my Telegram. So we have just a few more minutes, and because like I'm also standing right now. So I'll move this out of. I'll close the tab. I'm close the chat. So I sent you a link to those interviews of Hutchison and Judy Wood. Yeah. So if she were to get on the show, which I'm still trying to push for it, it'd be very good to ask a whole lot of these stuff right here. Obama. So right here, the message signed by Obama, one of the last steel beams will be installed on the One World Trade Center. This had a significant day. This was on June 14th, 2012, and there's the footage right here. Can you hear the tab?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And yeah, there's the Obama signing on the One World on Trump's birthday. And 2025 is supposedly Trump's going to be president again. And did you know Trump was actually he was proposing to build a Twin Towers 2, a Trump Twin Towers, but then this one won out. So he was actually bidding to make a Trump Twin Towers, a rebuilt, stronger one. And there's Michelle.
Michael.
That's it. The thermite create ionizing radiation. Well, there wasn't ionizing radiation 9/11 as well. Like, as much expected. Thermite wouldn't do anything. Thermite is. I had a so-called debate with a thermiter in real life actually last year. I mean, last week actually. I'm like, it's like, do they even know what thermite is? It's just, it's like super hot and bright flashes that never happen. So there's Obama signing, and yeah, so that is that one. And also another thing I was wondering is, if you ever seen Michelle's back, this is Michelle Obama's back. That's Mike Tyson. This is not Photoshopped. That's actually her back. There's Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's built like a tank. Okay, so she's actually built like a tank. There's Obama. There's Michelle.
Yeah.
Like so I have a lot of these posts like, why is her back so build back better. This is the
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
So there it is. Okay, so let's continue on our march. We're almost down here. You wanted to show something else about Alex Jones' Prison Planet forum tales, and then like the one I was saying, I found your name on there, and also the Podbeam. So go over here. So there's the Podbeam when you first got woken up to COVID, and then there's the Jacinda. I'm gonna open these tabs up so that we can share this tab. Well, we'll go over this one right here. So you sent me the link to this one. This is March 18th. Go on.
Yeah, this is, you don't have to play it, but I really recommend people check this out just for the history of COVID. I knew that as soon as they locked people down, I knew this whole thing was a psyop, but I couldn't prove it to anyone. And then I came across this interview with Bonnie Faulkner on Guns and Butter with Professor Michel Chossudovsky. And it was beautiful. I mean, he capsulized everything. He gave you all the history in just this one interview of how this PSYOP was set up. And I got it out to everyone. I was sending it to RFK Jr. I was sending it to Vaccine Choice Canada. I sent it to everyone. I said, you've got to hear this. You know, this is not a real health emergency. And so, yeah, I think it's really important. He was way ahead of the curve. He was way ahead of everyone else.
Yeah. No, that's great. I've never heard of him before, so I'll have to check out his work.
He runs globalresearch.ca. It's a really good website with a lot of stuff. I wanted to get a couple of quick things in about COVID. One of the guys that I've been meeting or had met at many of the protests was an undertaker. Him and his brother owned different undertaking businesses in the greater Vancouver area. Mm-hmm. And in 2019, before the pandemic, they got a letter from, I guess it was Health Canada. It was a federal agency, telling them to prepare for a pandemic, that they need to start thinking about this. And then in the new year, in January, they got another letter saying that there was a pandemic coming and that every death they must mark as from COVID-19. Wow. And these brothers knew right then and there, this is a scam. And they said, no way, we're not doing it. And whatever, they turned back the funds, they wouldn't accept it. And I've been trying to get these letters from this guy, but he's not real internet savvy. He doesn't really communicate that well, but he comes to the marches. If we're ever at a march and I see him, I'm going to introduce him to you, Matt, so you can talk to him and get it right from the horse's mouth.
Oh, that's good. So, like when you're mentioning that they were saying prepare for a pandemic, so have you seen this executive order by Trump in September 2019?
No.
So here's this September 2019. I have it archived right here. September 19, 2019. All right, here's the executive order. Statement from the press secretary on the executive order modernizing influenza vaccines in the U.S.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this. I've heard of this.
Yeah, this is one. So this is literally 2019, just as Event 201 is going on, as this is, and then they had that woman in her car did that video predicting there's gonna be a pandemic, because she read this one. And she's like, guys, there's going to be a fake pandemic coming.
I remember that. And do you remember one of the first things they did on the pandemic was they sent everyone, I think it was a test, they sent everyone out to buy toilet paper. They wanted to see if their communication systems would work and how many people would fall for it. Ted Kuntz of Vaccine Choice Canada knows a couple of professional hypnotists, and they talked to him about it, and they were convinced this was a test. This was a test of their COVID system to see how many people were buying in. And they sent people out to buy all this toilet paper.
Yeah, I didn't think of it like that, but that was actually a very good idea. Yeah, so yeah, because the toilet paper one, just like, I was like shocked. Like, what are people going crazy for? And then one of my the fathers of my soccer teammate, his dad is like he told us that right when COVID was starting that he went and bought like a bomb shelter full of equipment because he was scared, and he bought all the toilet paper from Costco because he was worried. He's like, hey, there's gonna be a super pandemic, something's gonna happen. He's preparing, and then he's like, he thought he was all crazy, and then the pandemic happened. Well, nothing really happened. That's the thing. Another thing is they did lockdown when there was few cases. They just said, oh, there's a case here and there, and then so we're doing lockdown, and declare a pandemic, but nothing happened. Like all the cases afterward were after the lockdown. But based on the definition that doesn't include number of people dying, they can declare a pandemic at any time they want.
That's right. Yeah.
So definition pandemic. I was actually going over that in my my document right here. Let's see here.
Yeah, they changed the definition, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is, their defense was they never made a definition, a proper definition. So the whole time, so I had this document right here. I'm opening it up. When I was working on the COVID mask one, before I started doing a video on biology, I did a 48-hour-long video because I wanted to learn. It's just loading up. But yeah, so you get the idea. They literally switched it up because before it says pandemic causes like millions of deaths, and so they removed it, and then they can declare it at any time. Definition. Let's see if I could scroll down. So this was 700 pages. In here. Oh, this is acid and bases. Definition. I gotta find the pandemic. Okay. We'll get to that later. So this is kind of why I made a separate video, because I ended up just doing a mini course on biology. All right, we'll get to that later. I'm like losing focus. So I'm also standing right now. So when I do the live streams, I stand so that as I get tired, I'm like, all right, cut it off. As opposed to if I sit down, I can go on for too long. All right, so we can discuss that later. Just get back in stuff. What else did we have here? So we get and yeah, we have the Sandy Hook trial one. Okay, this one's a bit dangerous. I might get my channel banned, so try to use code words if you're saying anything specific about.
Well, we'll call it Sandy Shores.
Well, you can talk about Sandy Hook, but just if you say the crisis actors or X people.
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know what happened there, but what Alex Jones did was basically was a sacrificial lamb, and he just laid down and said I was delusional, and he didn't try and bring any real proof. Yeah, and this is what Titus Frost, who also does a show similar, he did a really great.
For the link, yes, Titus Frost, to follow him. as well. I'll try to
Yeah,
find it.
he did a great link or a great summation of what happened. And I try and point this out to people. That was Alex's job, to go in there and seal the cover story so that no one could investigate it. And that's what he did.
Yeah, that's literally his role. His role is to it's to make the alt media look bad and also look like violent and like criminal. So this is so this Titus Frost. Look, I just searched it up online. I didn't have a chance to grab the link from your email, but so he wrote an article here. So Titus Frost YouTube channel suspended for 2 weeks over Sandy Hook. This is in 2017. All right, yeah. So the Sandy Hook one is interesting because Richard Hall, his YouTube channel got deleted because he was saying the Ariana Grande. Have you seen his documentary on the Ariana Grande? Was it London supposed bombing? So he's also in trial now, but he's trying to fight back. Richard Hall, because
that's right. Yeah, I remember you mentioned that. Yeah.
So Richard Hall, let's go Richard Hall. Yeah. So here is, I can send that link. This is he's doing basically what Alex Jones should have been doing, but Alex Jones has like millions of dollars, and he's literally just getting destroyed. So update on Richard Hall. So he was actually so the Manchester Arena Grande concert quote bombing. If you look at the evidence, there's very little evidence for an actual like bombing. It's like a loud bang, and then there's like a whole bunch of people that are unhurt, walking as if there's nothing happened. But yeah, so he is in legal trouble. That they're literally trying to bankrupt him. And BBC, they did a hit piece on him, and his YouTube channel got deleted, and so on. And there's a timeline of it right here. So summer 2022, and he had this video for years. And then email from BBC, emails, he kept getting emailed, then first mention of legal action by BBC. So BBC, they would have their court cases, they have families, members of family members saying that they were hurt by his video.
Yeah, that sounds like Sandy Shores.
Yeah, so Sandy Shores, this is Ariana Grande one. So it is an interesting one. It's like, I think specific things that there's a lot of evidence showing it's a complete, like, fabrication. Yeah, the fabrication ones, those are the ones that are like easy, like they try to go after those.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, and they also have, YouTube has specific rules about denying, so you can't deny violent events taking place. So I don't know if you've heard about that YouTube policy.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. So that's why my Pizzagate videos are all taken down, because so right here, you can't deny or minimize a well-documented major violent event or the victimhood of such an event. So if you see something and it was completely fake and you say, hey, it was fake, you're gonna get like in jail in some places.
Yeah, I know.
And so these are the kind of things it's like you bring up to a normie. They probably don't even know this is real. Because like I mentioned to a friend last year that my 9/11 videos are censored. Like, YouTube wouldn't do that. I'm like, what are you talking about? What world do we live in? Yeah, and then he thought I was like killing my parents because I told them not to get the vax. And I'm like, they're perfectly fine. Like, what's going on here? Like, and he's the one who's like super sick too. Okay, so 9/11 Vision is back. Oh, we actually have a 9/11 Vision late to the party. Hi all. Okay, yeah, we're about to like end the live stream. This is over 2:30 already. So let's continue. What else did we have here? Disinfo magazine, and then the Jacinda. Okay, we'll go over that Disinfo magazine cover. I posted on my Telegram the one that you had of the Disinfo agents.
Oh yeah, I know. That was my...
I think that was one of your best comics I've ever seen. Yeah, and then we'll finish up with the Jacinda cocaine video.
Oh yeah.
That was your bread and butter there. Okay, so this was, what did I have it here? It's easier to see. Disinfo agents. Magazines. Okay, I'm gonna search it here and share this. Okay, so 9/11 Visionist, how are you doing? And we'll eventually get him back on the live stream magazines. Okay, again, find that. What was it right here? Did I spell magazines right?
You need an A after the G.
Oh, thanks for correcting me. Yeah, so this is the one. It's easier to show it on the bigger one right here. So, price your scruples, sellout issue, Disinfo Warrior magazine, facilitating the cover-up, tips and tricks, interview, Ajax Jones, I fool them all, 9/11 truth, hiding, do, direct energy weapon anniversary celebration, Judas Iscariot role model, How low can you go? Find out. Take your morals quiz. Yeah, so this is a very even though it's written in satire, it's very telling. Like the people willingly lying about like covering up the actual truth of events. It's like so like what are they actually getting out of this? Did they?
I don't know, man.
Well, because like if for example, Alex Jones covering up 9/11, he's covering up free energy technology. He's covering up like, and so think about how many people are dying every second because of not access to energy. So in other words, we're talking genocide of like billions of people.
Yeah, I know. These people are sociopathic. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, and another thing is, are they actually people? So there's the are they just a ChatGPT robot or something? Okay, so 9/11 version says fighting bots on X. Yeah, so I see your channel's getting pretty big on his Twitter account's getting pretty big on on X. Let's go 9/11 revisited on Twitter. So he's getting really big on there, and he gets a whole lot of people attacking. I'm going to share this tab. And so 6,792 followers already in 9/11 revisionist. Unreal. Yeah, he's going viral on there. I'm going to put this here as well. All right, and let's see. Let's watch one more video, and then we can probably either ask Q&A or end it. Let's go to last one, the Chikinda. I'm going to click this, and this is. Alright, so this is the one that your video went viral right here. So here's a question for the audience, guys. This is the New Zealand one, right? I think.
Yes.
New Zealand. Yeah, so she is a psycho. So she was a former prime minister of New Zealand. The Jacinda, 40 years old. Okay, so she's fairly young for a fake world leader. Let's just read up on her. Okay, there she is. And now the question is she on the cocoa or not? Okay, I found it. Someone says, okay, this is Justin Trudeau's party pal or just an itchy nose. You decide. All right, I'll put the audio. Let's start again.
You'll be right. You're probably out of shot over there. Okay. Everyone's ready to go?
all right. Okay, I think you're right. Okay, so Reality Access showing the choices. Great show. And epic stuff. Reality Access, you got to be on the show one time. We'll go in here.
Sweet mustache.
All right. Yeah. So people in the audience, what's your
You're probably out of shot over there.
what's your take? Is she on cocaine?
Everyone's ready to go?
Cocoa powder, cocoa powder, or just an itchy nose, and so Reality Access is actually the one where I was talking to you, Alan, before about where that explosion in the W2C, the whatever objects that struck, it seemed like paper was flying through them unburnt. I see the explosions right here. You can see some of them here. This is the video in there. I just want to see specifically where it was. You'll see a lot of paper unburnt.
Came out when?
I think I believe there's all paper just like floating around the explosion area. So there's all just paper flying everywhere. So the paper had to gone through these fire. Yeah. So there's millions of paper there, but I think there's another one. There's another footage right here. And then we'll end this right here. There's paper somewhere here. I'm gonna scroll down until I find the paper and clear. Yeah, so reams of paper survived at the core of the plane crash, and yeah, so I'm gonna read this and then play at the 20-minute mark, and then we'll end the chat. So at the 20-minute mark, the quote plane hits WTC2. This gives a clear view of the immediate ejected unburned paper that somehow miraculously survived the jet fuel. Fireball, reams of paper survive at the core of the plane. A crash fireball equal the fireball was not hot equal there was no burning jet fuel. There were no crashing planes. End of the debate. Well, again, it could possibly be some Hutchison weird effects. When you open the video, you need to rewind to 20 minutes to see the supposed. So I have it right here. All right. Okay, so there it is, and let's see where the paper's coming out of. Okay, so there's paper coming out. These are all paper. Yeah, actually, sorry, I didn't show the screen. Let me know when if I do that again. I wasn't showing the tab, because each time I have to press the button, tab. Okay, I'm gonna play it right here. And then, so there's explosion. Then you see, this is gonna be all paper just floating around. What appears to be paper floating around. This is all paper too. Just floating around through this thick, whatever these fumes are. So paper's coming out of there unburnt, or what appears to be paper. And this is millions of it. So that's an interesting. That's an interesting stuff right here. And then the mainstream excuse for tritium is that tritium is used. Paul Lovelace in the comments says, mainstream excuse for tritium is that tritium is used to make the exit signs glow in the dark. Yeah, but it's barely. But there's like a tiny amount, and then you're assuming that tritium from the supposed plane somehow floated down and specifically into a specific area, as opposed to this is general background radio. General tritium level was higher, much higher than that, and throughout. All right, so that is what we have. I'm gonna start closing some stuff. Is there anything else people want to ask questions, or should we I'll open up the chat if anyone wants to ask me or Alan while I start closing stuff? I'm just closing all these tabs. All right, and let's get to the live stream. So yeah, so anyone have anything in the chat? Alan, anything else you want to say? I'm gonna go to the live streaming stats. Live streaming, and we gotta end that video. Oh, this is my studio. I accidentally closed that tab. I'm gonna show this tab, and then we can have the ending monologue or dialogue. So view in control panel, and I'm gonna share the screen right here. Present now. Live streaming tab. All right, guys. We have 22 people right now, and yeah, and I'm my knees are like buckling. I wanna stand it. Yeah, because I go on quite a while. So you can see my screen. You can see the chat now. I'll hide this chat. I'll just hide this one. All right. So now we have the chat right here, and you can see that. Can you see the chat? Can you read it? Fine, Alan, or no?
The chat. Oh.
Oh, and the window.
I'm trying. Is there a question there?
No, I'm just saying. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Jeremy says just to look up Tom O'Neill's book Chaos. It's an audio book. So
okay.
So that's for you. Oh, so now
Chaos.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we have a bunch of people joining in now. Now that the stream is ending. All right.
Well,
So maybe I should change my stream time to later.
But sometime if you can play that Bonnie Henry video about masks because
I thought I had the link. Do you have a link? I'll play it right now.
Oh, I sent it to you.
Yeah, and I forgot to add that.
Well, maybe do it next time if.
Well, I can find it right now. Well, because I will find it right now. I think I had somewhere. I have the email. I'm gonna go Bonnie. I have the email opened. I'll get the thing right now. We can't leave that out.
Because what's so amazing is that she said it over and over again on the major news networks all summer long, 2020, and then she reversed herself in the fall, and everyone forgot. It went down the memory hole what she'd been telling everyone, that masks don't prevent, any kind of catching a disease. They don't protect you. They're dangerous to wear, not a good idea to wear for long periods. She said it over and over.
Yeah, mass flip. Okay, I'll find your video right here. I'm gonna open up right here. We're gonna do some epic finding Bonnie. Okay, so you have it here, Bonnie. So you have it. Okay, there's the link. I found it. BitChute. Whoops. Copy. And I found the link, and we are gonna play this as a final. I know Timothy Sullivan, $1.99 just donated. And yeah, he says, please have a look at the question above Epic. And the question is, sometimes edges of the papers were burnt. Why? I was there. I remember the details. Sometimes the edges of the paper were or weren't burnt. Okay, so. Okay, the M says, these Math Easy live streams are epic. Thanks, M. And that was epic stuff there. Yeah, so some of the edges were burnt. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I have to look at the paper specifically. I haven't looked at that, so I'll add that to the next live stream. I'll add your question. I'll do some digging. I haven't looked at it because, like, with me, I looked at towers turn to dust, and I'm like, all right, everyone needs to know the towers turn to dust, and it's like, once everyone agrees on that, then okay, well, let's look at some more info. But that's kind of how I viewed it. But now I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go through everything. Thank you, Innumerable, Matthew, and Alan. Epic stuff. So yeah, so Timothy Sullivan, I'll answer your question in the next live stream because I haven't looked at the edges of the paper specifically. So, and I have the link right here, and I'm gonna put this right here. Bonnie Henry masks. Share this tab, and here's the video. So you have that there. I'm gonna go. Yeah. So and I believe that this video I actually shared to my brother. So he works at the hospital, and he shared to one of his mainstream friends, and she was shocked. She's like, Bonnie, why would she be pro and then switch it's like anti-mask and then pro all of a sudden, but then doesn't mention that ever again. So it was like the zombie programming just hit. All right, I'm gonna paste this right here and then play it, just so I have the link. 18. Okay, so we have Bonnie Henry. We're gonna play this video, and another pro tip is, on BitChute it doesn't have the option to make it widescreen. So what you could do is if you change the video on the URL to embed, and then it does it on its own. Okay, so I have it embed, and there's the widescreen.
I've always supported wearing masks. I've never said don't wear them. I've always said wear them where it's appropriate. We don't recommend that people who are well wear them because it is not an effective way of protecting yourself. And we know that it actually can be irritating and people are more likely to touch their face when they have a mask on. And that can be a way of inoculating yourself. If I'm not sick, it's not effective. It's not something that when I'm out in public, it's going to protect me in any way. So we don't want people wearing it all day long, for example. We cannot rely on a mask because the mask is not what keeps us safe. And masks for long periods of time are not recommended by anybody in any situation.
We're not wearing masks now. Would we be safer right now if we had masks on?
No. You see, these are the things that we have learned. I've always supported wearing masks. I've never said don't wear them. I've always said wear them where it's appropriate.
Okay, yeah, I'll upload the Telegram. So yeah, they're all a bunch of liars. It's not just her; it's everybody. In the even the I think U.S. Surgeon General was anti-mask and then somehow flipped. Yeah, so this kind of shows it that they're absolute lying like psychos, and it's like, but the mainstream media, but again, like the public don't have a thorough like understanding of what's actually being presented by the mainstream media. So like, because they live in the moment, so whatever the news shows at the moment is what they'll believe. They're not going to be, the news is not going to be like, okay, actually Bonnie Henry said this, and because they don't say that, it's as if they just like completely forget in their brain that this occurred.
Yeah.
All right, and then yeah, so Reality Access, I have detailed images of edges burned in one of the videos. Yes, some of the edges may be burned, some not. But the thing is, again, there's millions of paper, and where it's a lot less burnt than it should be. It's similar how some people turn to dust, some didn't. Like most of the steel turned to dust, but not all of it. So there is an element of something there. Anyone remember Eyes Wide Shut and the masks? Yes, Sedate. All right. Anyways, guys, I'm losing focus, and Alan stayed much longer than even I thought he would. You said an hour and 49 minutes. Anybody have any questions? Anyone?
I couldn't stop.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's the thing. Once you go in the live stream, like I didn't realize I could do it for a while, but then it's kind of get in the groove. Okay. So Paul Lovelace says that's deaf. Coke knows. Ask me how I know. Yeah. Okay. How do you know, Paul? So Paul Lovelace says it was the Jacinda was Coke knows, and I think he's an expert. So so there's your confirmation right there. And I'll add that video to Telegram as well. Any questions, guys? Last call. Otherwise, thanks for joining. And then.
Great job, Matt. Great job.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll rendezvous in this live stream later. Whenever you want to join it, just come in. If there's anything you want to promote, and so on. And especially once the next lockdown for the For the World War III or fake alien invasion or whatnot. Okay, Timothy Sullivan said, thanks, Reality, for your answer. I will look. Okay, yeah, so Reality, actually, yeah, I will have to find that as well. B team. Okay, someone's posting about that. B team. Actually, I have a, before I leave, B team. Do I have the B team? Okay, I can't find that. And, oh, we'll do that later. But anyways, I'm losing track, guys. Anyways, thanks for joining. Anything else, Alan, you want to say?
Nope. Just
all
thanks for coming.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, another great show. Everybody started showing up once the chat's going up. Thanks, everyone. I will start at the top now. Epic, Timothy. And yeah, thanks for donation again, Timothy. You're one of the top donators. It's like, I have like 4 people donating. And then so chat revenue, $2.73. All right, thanks, guys. Oh, I can't see my thingy already. Share this tab. Okay, so I'm on the thing. It's $2.73 right here in donations. That's $1.99 US to Canadian. So we made a lot of money today, guys. All right. Anyways, guys, that's all for today. Thanks for joining, and stay tuned for another Math Easy. I'm gonna end the stream in 3, 2, 1. Have a good one, Alan. See you guys.
Okay, man. Bye bye.
Bye. And ending. And.